Hey everybody, WhySoWookie here. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Pubg Update 20.1, the return of Vikendi with Vikendi Reborn, all the different updates that are coming to the game, and everything that you need to know. Hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, consider liking and subscribing to see more. So the first thing we get to take a look at is, when do we get to play this? So it's gone live on the PC test server today, so you can check it out straight away if you can play on PC, but it'll be hitting the live servers first on PC on December the 6th, and then later on console on December the 15th. The map service rotation is a changing, so on the test server you'll be able to play Vikendi as a featured map, Arangal, Sanak and Paramount and normal, and then when it hits the live server, it does vary on region for the PC, but you're looking at Arangal, Miramar, Tego, Sanak and Paramount, and then the rank stays the same. And then over on the console, you've got Arangal, Miramar, Tego, Sanak and Paramount, and they all have Vikendi as a featured map. Vikendi will probably stay as a featured map for at least one update, and then it usually drops into the normal matchmaking pool, so plenty of time to check out Vikendi. Next, the first major feature of this new update, as expected, is Vikendi Reborn, which we get to see here, and we get a nice comparison image between old Vikendi and new Vikendi. The actual map itself has increased from a 6x6 map to an 8x8. It's composed of various environments such as glaciers, snowfields and greenery. In the north there's sharp slopes with heavy snow, with relatively less snow and flatter terrain in the south. And there's clear and cloudy weathers. Here we get to have a look at my personal favourite area, which is Dino Land, and we can see it's been it looks like it's been rejigged a little bit here, like the Ferris wheel's on a hill up there, you've got a T-Rex in the middle, the volcano's still present, so they've kind of just like redone it a little bit. You've got a Ferris wheel over here. I'll be looking forward to exploring that again. The next major feature of this map, which is a map specific feature, is the cable cars, which are scattered around the map, and there's different routes on the cable cars. The cable cars move automatically and you just board them just like you do the trains. There's 2 routes for each station and only 1 cable car running per route. Cable cars will stop briefly before moving in the opposite direction, and again they're available only on Vikendi on this one. The next Vikendi feature is the lab camps. And it says, meet the new lab camp, a new area holding high value items in the northwest. Each lab camp differs in size and structure, and you can see that the different little areas, this is presumably one as well, and they look like this with a little dome and some tents. Supply drops, a new type of crate spawning certain items and certain probability distributions will spawn in lab camps. Yellow supply drops boost items, throwables, M79, smoke launchers, and level 3 equipment may spawn. In the red ones, weapons available in Vikendi, including ammo, may spawn, and you may even find a care package weapon if you're lucky. So I imagine the drop rate of the care package ones is quite low there. And then you get blue supply ones, which is attachments available in Vikendi as well. Alarms are installed in certain lab camps. They will immediately activate once items are extracted from the supply drops, and obviously that'll go on for a certain time to let everybody know you're looting them, which is a bit of a risk reward thing, especially if there's people nearby and try and be stealthy. The next feature coming to Vikendi is the new comeback BR system. First featured on Tego, but making a new and slightly improved version for Vikendi as well. In this iteration of the comeback BR, you'll not have not only 1 but 3 opportunities to use this, so you know, even more chance to come back and help your team succeed. Players will spectate their team members once they die during specific phases of the map. Once comeback BR's countdown is over, a loader screen will pop up and move the players to the comeback BR arena. Every player's health is reset, all the equipment is reset. During a comeback BR phase, players who survive will return to the match with the loot they obtained in the arena. A total of 3 comeback BR phases will proceed during a single match. The first, second and third will proceed consecutively during certain phases of the match. The comeback BR participant recruitment phase will be shown in the top left of the world map screen. Players who only die during the comeback BR phase participate recruitment will be able to come back in that particular phase. After a player returns to a match after a comeback BR, the phase dies again, you'll be able to join the next combat BR. So there is the potential where you could die 3 times and go to 3 combat BRs, which should be quite interesting as well. I think it'll be a lot easier for newer players to get involved in it, especially if you've got a newer player on your squad. They've got 3 chances to come back and join you, and as much as anything, it just means that they're not going to spend 20 minutes just watching the rest of the team play, which is pretty good. A comeback BR multi-drop will be available once per BR phase, so it's like there's even a crate drop in it now, so you know there's a reason to do things. I think the problem with the comeback BR in Tago is that everybody just loots 2 weapons and sits in a building. Number 1, because you can't get a backpack, so there's only so much loot you can pick up, so there's literally, after you've got filled your pockets and your vest with loot, there's literally no point doing anything other than just sitting in the ring. And number 2, there's no risk reward. Why would you go out in a combat BR, risk getting yourself killed and then having to just spectate for the rest of the game? Whereas in this, there's going to be a multi-drop, so potentially you can get a crate weapon and come back with that, which would be really good. But also, backpacks do spawn in the arena now as well, so you can keep getting loot, so you can actually be pretty well tooled by the time you get back. It does say a single arena will be used for every comeback BR phase per match, therefore, item spawns, death boxes, and destroyed structures will not reset per phase. So that means that in the first phase there'll be quite a lot of loot, and gradually progressing to the 3rd phase, the amount of loot available in the comeback BR will actually be less, so perhaps more incentive to go for these crates, or it says the death boxes will still be there, so you might actually be able to loot off the death box when you go in there. So I'm quite excited to see how that plays out. It seems quite interesting and positive changes from the Tago version. Next, there's some new features for, again, Vikendi, this time brought over from Destin, and that's the Ascenders. So you can go up into these and use that. So map utility items will be provided to every player in Vikendi. You get the Ascender and you get a utility parachute. So like Destin, you always have a parachute on you as well, so you'll be able to jump off these and parachute down. Ascenders have been attached to buildings in Observatory and Coal Mine, and Ascender towers are located throughout the map. Also brought over from Destin is the fuel pump mechanic, which is available also in Vikendi, which is pretty cool. I like this mechanic, and I hope that it does eventually get brought to all the maps as well, because there's easily room for it easily on Arangel and Miramar. Perhaps not on Saphok, but certainly on those 2 maps. And you could probably have it on Tago as well, to be fair. A new system exclusive to this map so far is the crowbar interaction. Players may now use crowbars to interact with various map objects. Cabinets scattered throughout the map can be opened with crowbars to obtain various items. Crowbars can also be used to open locked buildings which are located throughout Vikendi. Crowbars must be equipped to interact with cabinets and locked buildings, so now there'll actually be a reason to not just necessarily have a pan but also a crowbar. And you can see these little cabinets with loot in and stuff like that, first aids. I imagine the buildings have better loot and the cabinets are just like more of a top-up station, but yeah, cool. I have quite a few skins actually on the crowbar, so I'll have to actually remember what it is when I've equipped it. It might be worth just putting it back to the crowbar to make it obvious for myself. Next is the return of the snowmobile. Obviously we've had the snowmobile before, but it's coming back with this Vikendi as there is much more snow than the previous version that we had. And again, just as a recap, it can carry up to 2 players. The max speed has increased and it's now up to 120. Movement speed will no longer decrease on flat surfaces, concrete and roads. So when you drive it down to the south, you're no longer penalised by not being on slow. Players can now shoot handguns from the driver's seat, and again available in matches. Next is the Vikendi train. I think there's only one route on this new map, and it goes from the train station over to the west. Train noise has been reduced by approximately 30% as well. And that's everything for the Vikendi specific updates. There's also been some tweaks to some other maps as well. And first, it's a bit of a world update for Arangel. So they've changed the piers near the ferry, so it's much easier to get in with vehicles. It also looks like, judging by this, you should be able to mount your vehicle on the ferry and then unload it at the other end, which will be pretty cool actually. Especially motorbikes should be relatively easy. On the minimap, they've added the ferry routes as well, so people not as well versed with the game will be able to understand where they go to and from. They've added an extra building to the little area south of hospital with more cover and more fences around there as well, so it's a much more viable spot. They've tweaked how some of the buildings are, like in this one for example, it's kind of looks just like a paint job, to be honest. Can't really decide if it's better or worse. Other than that, it looks almost identical, so I'm not sure it'll make the biggest difference, but yeah, why not? They've added a new into Paradise Resorts at Sanhok, a new event to celebrate the holidays with Brown, Coney, Sally and Choco, and more of Line friends land on Sanhok Paradise Resort. I imagine there's probably going to be some skins in the store to tie in with that as well. The PGC 2022 and the name art objects have been removed from all maps as well. Next is a bit of a balance pass for the vehicles. So the Zima is increased in health. It's now got a trunk feature added onto the minibus as well, which is pretty cool. The Porter again has increased in health. General speed has increased, max speed has not changed. The Coupe has had improved low RPM. The minibus has increased in health as well. The vehicle's tyre health has slightly increased. UAZ torque in the low RPM has increased. Murado's the same, and the control of the Murado has also increased as well. Hopefully that means when you go around a corner really fast it doesn't just roll over as well. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the return of the Zima as well, which is cool, which is the Vikendi car, which we've not been able to use for a good while. Next, they've made a little bit of a tweak to the previous animation update as well, so that it looks far more natural when running, and your shoulder doesn't look like it's gonna like pop out at any moment. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, the start of Ranked Season 21 is beginning, and the special vehicle containers that with the McLarens in have been removed from the starting islands. Thank God, because although they were fun while we were earning it, they're pretty annoying now when you're just sitting there talking to your mates and you're constantly getting bashed about and all you can hear is a car. So I'm glad to see that go, which is a nice quality life feature at the beginning. They've made slight tweaks to training modes and custom matches, nothing major there. Team Deathmatch, they've took out the old Peshkova and Podvosta maps from that. There's a new lobby background available as well. I might end up using this one myself and post my custom one for a little bit. There's a new end of match screen. Now this I really like because it shows you all your medals, your BP earned, how that broke down, the weapons that you used, how they ranked up, you know, any events that are on there, if you did any missions, which ones did you complete. I really like this end of match screen. It's a good quality of life feature, and it breaks down the information really nice. They've improved the joining. There's a new Survivor Pass for Vikendi Reborn. We'll not go into that in too much detail here. I'll do a completely separate video going through all the items, the missions, etc. The High Noon PNC 2022 and a bunch of emotes have been added into the workshop, so you'll be able to get them and craft those. They've done a bit of performance issues, so on the Xbox they've improved data compression, so it reduces hitches. And then there's a whole list of bug fixes as well there. I'll leave a link to this article in the video description, so if there's been a bug that's been particularly plaguing you, you'll be able to check it out there. But that's it for Vikendi Reborn and update 21.1. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, consider liking and subscribing to See Wookie out.